Hi folks, it's Rich here. It's a new guitar day. Yes it is. My 137th guitar. What are you doing? Oh, by the way, I've had this generic knife for about 26 years. It's my favourite knife. Anyway, for those who don't know me, I will say this, but just in case you've just arrived, hello, I'm a novice guitarist. I've loads of guitars. Can't play guitar particularly well, but I enjoy them. Who doesn't? But loads of budget guitars, lots and lots of Harley Bentons, so you can have a look on the playlist if you want to see what I think to a whole bunch of those. And Squires, Fenders, Ibanez, Ibanez, as Agafish would say, Gibson, Schecter, Galari, vintage, all sorts, but not a Jet. Why not a Jet, I hear you say? Well, because I'm a bit of a weirdo. I just don't like the logo and the name. I mean, Jet, what kind of a guitar name brand is that? The guy who owned the company and started it up, I did have a look to see what his name was the other day, because I wanted to know the origin of why called Jet, and his name is not Mr. Jet. So I don't know where Jet came from. It just seems bizarre, and I just don't like this. Oh, don't cut yourself, sharp. I don't like this logo, but you can't deny it's a decent amount of guitar for the money. So, as I was in the market for a budget Strat, again, I thought rather than going down the Harley Benton route, default, especially ones I've had before, which I like, let's just see, shall we, Rich? Yeah, let's just see. Can I, first of all, is it any good, worth keeping? And second of all, what's it like compared to those, to my Harley Bentons and the affordable Squires that I've had? So let's have a quick first impression unboxing. Now, it's a vintage coloured ivory plasticky stuff on there, which I approve of. Now, this is not a colour I would have chosen. I did choose it. Well, I don't like tortoiseshell pickguard. Really not my thing at all. Then this is tortoiseshell pickguard. And I would have much preferred the vintage white version of this, but you just can't get any anywhere. They're out of stock here, then everywhere. And this was in stock. And I don't mind a sunburst, so I thought, let's have a sunburst. Let's have a sunburst. Let's take it out of here. Ooh. So, first things first, it's obviously just comes, when they've usually got the packaging on the strings here, it means it's not had any additional love, but the sunburst is rich. It's a very rich, dark looking burst. And the knobs are properly aged colour. What's that feel? Oh, that's really lippy, loosey. Very loose, very loosey, spinny, loosey. You get a 6-saddle bridge with what's engraved on that? MVB, whatever MVB is. One of the interesting things with these Jets, look at the block. Can you see a block hiding in there? I mean, if you got a magnet out and tried to stick onto that, nothing would happen. It's probably made of all sorts of rubbish, nickel, waste metals, but at least it's a full-size one. And can you hear this? That's a super clicky switch. I like clicky switches. Tuners, they got written on the back of them. Jet. Interesting tuners. So the shape of the buttons themselves are a bit like the vintage style ones, but as you can see on the back and also on the front, they don't string down the top. So you got a bit of a mix really. Modern feeling ones, but with a vintage button. These also have a bone nut apparently. The heels of it aren't sticking out, and hard to tell at the moment, but there's nothing glaringly obvious about how that's cut. I mean, whether those strings are stuck in there or not, I don't know, but it's not like they're too big. Let's just take this off here. Pick it up gently in case the guitar goes back. Now, the first thing to say, bit of a disappointment for me. So it's a roasted maple neck. Now, Harley Benton started doing what they call a caramelized neck, which is a subtle version really of roasted maple, and this one looks just like that. There's not a great deal of colour to that at all. I'm sure some of these earlier jets, and maybe it's just inconsistencies in the manufacture or the baking of them, some are darker than others, but that is not in the slightest bit dark there. It does feel very smooth though, which is kind of part of the point of this. So that is an initial disappointment for me, I guess. Really, I'd much, yeah, when you look at the images of them as well, they're a lot darker. One of the nice features here, you get this in the cutaway, you get a scoop there, so maybe to help you get up to here a little bit more easily. Yeah. Let's have a little look at the frets. Sorry, the lighting here is not very good. Is it very good? I don't think so, it's hot. The frets are not polished and very scratchy. So that'll take some playing in or give them a polish. Probably the strings on this probably aren't anything to write home about either. So you might probably just replace the strings and give it a polish whilst you're at it. The strings go over the pole pieces. Not too bad. No better, no worse than a lot of other guitars I've had at various price points. Not a big deal, but it's a nice to have. Actually, you've got where this top scoop is here, there's cutaway, there's a little slightly scooped out here too. So that's good. How heavy is it? I should go and weigh it really. It weighs about as much as you would think it should do. It's probably 3-ish kilos. And the neck, it's supposed to be a C with a 9.5-inch radius, so more traditional. A lot of the Harley Bentons have still got 13.78 degree radius, so I don't feel anything like a Fender or a Squier, although some of the new ones are now 12-inch. But that feels, yeah, that feels easy to get hand around. It's not that thick actually. That feels more like Squier territory for me, rather than sort of Fender territory. So for smaller hands, that's probably a good thing. The frets don't feel sharp. So yes, first impressions, that's £149 here in the UK for this. So you can get a bullet for that kind of money instead. I'm guessing that's hard-tailed. Yeah, yeah. You can get a bullet for that kind of money. It just depends if you want something a little bit different, if you can live with that logo. One string tree. Interesting. So yeah, from a pure features point of view, you get a bit more for your money really on this than you do with a bullet. But we'll plug it in with my new amp a little bit later, and we'll have a play. That's it for now. Bye bye.